Alright, the title of this video I guess is going to be Are You Ready to Vote? And this is not just for Democrats, as I'm a Democrat, but for Republicans, Independents, and whoever else is voting or planning to vote in the U.S. elections. I was talking to some friends and we were talking about a lot of things about the election and what's going on. And Barack Obama also sent out an email about people getting registered and knowing the information that they need in order to vote. Now we're about 7 weeks out, so that means we have about 7 weeks to go at this moment when I'm filming the video, or this video, which is probably a good time to start getting yourself together. While I was on the phone with a friend of mine from Atlanta, we were talking about he had to switch his registration, and he went through all this stuff and he wasn't sure, and so we went on to some websites. We were on the phone, we went on some websites together to check and see that we were actually registered. And I was registered and he was registered, you know, and his registration was fine. So there are places to check that on the internet if you're on the internet. And I will have some links over here because I don't know exactly the places, but I have 2 places where you can check by state. So the first thing is to make sure that you're registered. You can register online, and if you're watching this video, more than likely you have online access, and you can register online at one of these sites here. There should be 2 sites posted over here at least. You can also, I don't know where else you go to register. There you go. But if you don't have the information, the thing is you need to find out now. You need to find out now. Today or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this video, you need to find out, 1, where you register if you're not registered already. You need to find out your polling place, you know, where, if you've moved or whatever, where your polling place is, where you'll have to go, what time and what hours it is. And, you know, you might be working that day, you might have to take off for half a day, or, you know, leave a little early or take a long lunch or something like that. Some people will be voting afterwards. But you want to make sure that you do register and that you do get out to vote, because our votes do count. And some people say they don't, but they do. And I'm just going to say that they do. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment because I am planning on making a few more videos up until the election. So I'll talk a little more about it. Okay, there are people who are out of the country. They're going to be out of town during the votes. You know, they're going to be traveling. So what you need to do is now you need to check and see what the requirements for your absentee ballot are and send that in as soon as you need to send it in so that it is counted. Let me see. Of course, I mentioned out of the country is the same as out of town. You want to check on the internet to make sure that you are registered. Make sure that you know. There's so much information on the internet, people. In these 2 links here on the site that I use to check my registration, you can also check by where you live and I think your zip code, and it not only tells you where your polling place is and that you are registered or you're not registered, but it also tells you what the issues are in your area, because there is the presidential election that is coming up, but there are also smaller elections that are going on. You know, there are bills that are coming up. There are little propositions that might be just for your area. There are council people. Some places are electing their mayors and governors and senators at this time. So you'll want to check that information so that you'll know. You might want to make a little cheat sheet when you go so that you'll know who you're voting for. So when you get there, you know, you have to think about it. You see all these names and all these things all over the place, and you're just like, oh my God. And some people don't vote the party ticket, and I'm one of those people. I like to vote for the people that I think are representing me and my interests. And that's the only thing that most of us can vote from. You know, I don't know what someone that's across the country and has 3 kids needs, so I can't vote for them. I don't know what someone who makes $2 million and lives in a condo and has 3 other places all over the country. I don't know what they need, so I can't vote for them. The things that I vote for are the things that are important to my life and the things that are going to help me get ahead, the things that I believe that other people that are in my situation care about, and I believe that they would vote in the manner that I'm voting. So that's how I base my vote. Some of us, especially when we're voting for in such a big election, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of little things that go into it. But you have to vote with your conscience, you have to vote with your heart. And that's all I want to say about that. So do check these sites on the internet. And just make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're registered. Make sure that you know what pieces of ID that you'll need to take with you to your registration place. Some places you might be able to walk in and not show any ID at all. Some places you'll need to have your, a driver's license or passport or a military ID or state ID. So you want to know those things beforehand. And you want to know that you are registered before you go there that day and you find out that something happened and your stuff isn't there. I would believe that you would feel a little let down at that point, especially if you've gone into, checking on the candidates and their positions and finding out who you really care about and what you really want to vote for. I also want to talk about one other thing, and that's if you are independent and you aren't planning on voting with one of the parties, Democratic or Republican Party, what you really might want to check is if in your state they have a write-in ballot, if there are independent people who are going to be in the election that are on your ballot. There are some states that do allow for write-in ballots. And I don't know if New York is one because I haven't taken the time to look it up because I'm not voting independent for anything as far as I know. But you may want to check that out because you may be able to write in your candidate if you are not happy with the policies of the candidates that are put forth. So if you want to vote for Roger Rabbit, I said I wasn't going to be silly, but I can't help myself. But just remember, people, just get out. It's so important. It may not be the most important thing in the world, and it may not be the most important election that we've ever experienced. But in my lifetime, it seems to me to be one of the most important elections, one of the most important times that I've noticed a major shift in things in this country. I care about my country. I love my country. And what can I do? I live here. I've lived in another country, I'd say in Germany, and I loved it there and I was treated very well, but it wasn't like home. This is home. And I really care about it, and I want us to move forward. I want us to continue to prosper. I want us to come together and be able to coexist in a peaceful manner. And I believe that we can do that. So, one more thing that I wanted to talk about that is driving me crazy. The polls. Everybody talks about the polls. And I've got to say this, and I've talked to many people about it. I have been voting for over 20 years, and I have never, ever been called, been sent an email, been stopped on the street for any political poll. Okay, so who are they polling? When we talk about all of these polls and who's ahead and by how many points, don't pay attention to the polls. Don't think, okay, I'm not going to vote because so-and-so is already ahead and I'm pretty sure that he's going to win, because it's not necessarily the truth. The people who have the phone polls right now, if they are polling people, I know Obama's biggest support group are probably from 18 to 30 people who are educated, they're saying, and who are either in school or have been through a certain level of college. And a lot of those people don't have anything but their cell phone. They don't call cell phones to poll. So that means all of those people are not being polled. Okay? So if they're doing it on the internet, I don't know who they're polling or how they're doing it or how they're going about it. If they're polling on the streets, I don't know, because many people have written me and said, I've been voting for 10 years, I've been voting for 20 years, I've been voting for, and I've never been polled. So who are they polling in these polls? I don't know. If you have been polled, oh my God. If you have, I love you. And what I want you to do is I want you to write here in the comments and tell us that you've been polled and where and how. Also, if you really make videos, please make a response to this video and let us know if you've been polled and where you've been polled. If you haven't been polled, then let us know, because I don't believe in these polls. I believe that we are that someone, somewhere, whatever New World Order, whatever it is trying to lead us. And what we need to do is get away from that. We need to use our own minds, our own consciences. We need to get in and get involved. And then we won't be able to talk about, oh, well, they do this anyway and it's their business and they're not going to do, and they get in there and do the same old thing. The politicians are accountable to the people. And if someone does get in and don't do what they say that they said they were going to do, we have the ability to recall them if necessary. and, you know, once they get into office. So we do have some power. So people, let's get out, let's register, let's vote. But also let's make an informed vote.